protection of our own nation. To experience it, and then experience every time Iran has had their fingers in murdering Americans abroad, as well as threatening our ambassador, not only our ambassadors, our president, the ambassadors from Saudi that were in Washington, the ambassadors from Israel that were in Washington. I mean, we just go through the litany of what they've had their fingerprints in. So we've known that as a nation for a long time, and we're protecting our nation from an enemy, and it's been an enemy. So I don't think that's anything new. But again, my point was just it's also in our legislative branch a very strong awareness of it.
Here, you have two friends and your allies, and I'm so happy that you people are actually exist in the United States, and you are fortunate that the majority of Senate and Congress is currently with Republicans, because unfortunately the Democrats that are supposedly meant to stand for human rights and humanity, they have always compromised and appeased the mullahs in Iran. That's right.
Whoa. I'm going to stop you on that one, because I got to stop you. And I'm a Republican, but there are Democrats that stand firmly on this position as well. I'm not going to say it does cross over party lines. There are some very strong Democrats that have been against they were against the Iran deal. They went up against Obama on it. Not all of them, but there were some. And there are Democrats that are very loud and vocal on this. So it does cross over, and I'm not going to get political on it, because I would look at members of Congress like Josh Gottheimer and Jared Moskowitz, and I mean, go through the list. Richie Torres, Susie Lee, they're strong about this. So let's not take that away from some of our better members of Congress. Also, my own senator, be fair on that one. Sorry, I had to jump in on that.
But what do you mean by being strong? I know that they're
they sponsor legislation, they support the sanctions. No, look at the records, their voting records, and there's support of stronger sanctions, and there's support.
No. I know. Do they support a war? Do they support a war against the regime? Because
has a war on the regime been brought actually in front of Congress? Have we had a vote on that yet? I mean, tell what we've had a vote on. They've supported. I'll post some voting records if you want to see.
Yeah, I would like that, but I don't want to bother you. But the
support.
Sanctions help. Yeah, sanctions help. But how it is going to make a difference if you leave the Iranian protesters to their own. I mean, what will sanctions do? It will make the regime's hands, the regime's work harder, of course. So it helps us, the Iranians. But at the end of the day, if a regime is going to change, we have to, confront with this regime, and we are empty-handed. We don't have any weapon, and they simply massacre Iranians. So the final answer, the ultimate solution, is military intervention. And if the Democrats, I know that there are individual forces, so I don't know his name, but there's sorry, just if I finish what they were saying. So I know that there is a Democrat congressman, I think, or perhaps he's a senator. He's old, right? He doesn't have
block. Have voted for the sanctions. Again, I just found the statement from the senator with respect. So, I mean, again, I'm not going to bash the other party when I'm not going to bash the other party when they have actually, some of them have stood up and voted on this. John Fetterman is a good example of it. Listen to Fetterman's comments.
I mean, here's the thing, Velvet. Like, Iran has to be destroyed so Israel can be safe.
No, Iran has to not have nuclear power.
Okay? You understand?
They can take care of themselves. They have taken care of themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
This isn't about Israel. This is about the U.S.
It's about us. it's just milking the U.S. right now, and then
Who's milking the U.S.? Who's
Edom
milking
will
the
be
U.S.?
destroyed.
Iran is milking the U.S.?
Edom has to be destroyed. It has to happen right now, Normo. I don't know what you're talking about.
I would urge everyone to differentiate between a country. Guys, someone, please be quiet for a moment. You should, in verbal speaking, you should be careful when you say Iran should be destroyed. Iran is our homeland, is my homeland, my country. You cannot say Iran should be destroyed. But the terrorist bunch of groups that are occupying our country, the Islamic regime, yes, that regime should be destroyed, but Iranian people and Iran as a country should be preserved, and we should always respect a country no matter what it's saying. So you should speak respectfully about Iran. And to the point that Adi was saying, yeah, about the points, Adi, again, I would want you to know, sanctions help. They are much better than making deals with this regime. Is military intervention. Because at the end of the day, Iranian people are empty-handed. We don't have any weapons. And whenever we take to the streets or take courage to take the
Iran war, Israel, Palestine, USA, no terrorists allowed. In the Issa Watermelon Fan Club house, everybody. Shavua Tov.
Velvet, you're Iranian?
Yes.
You're Iranian? Okay.
Someone. And
John, you don't have a chat, so I can't post the voting records.
This is
But
why
anyone can look them up.
I really just want to be Jewish because they're so good at making people hate their own people. It's like it's overpowered war tactics. Just propaganda.
All right, remove them from the room because no terrorists are allowed here. And if you're going to lie and besmirch the good Jewish people, you're going to get kicked in the tuchus, either to the goo or to the hallway. Shavuot. Also, noise trolls who are working in their bathtubs or kitchens will also be kicked to the goo. So, Abby, your main contention is Iran should not, cannot, must not, will not get a nuclear weapon. And we've already dropped 2 massive bunker busters on their nuclear program. What's next?
Okay, can I read you something, John? If that's okay. So we've got something like an estimated stockpile of about 3,000 ballistic missiles. That's what's left after at least probably close to 50%, somewhere between a third and 50% were destroyed during the 12-day war. Let's say a third of them are short range, 10 sorties that no longer have a ballistic missile program. It can get a little messy. The U.S. operates 72 B-52 bombers that can fly anywhere. So if Iran starts playing games in the Gulf, the U.S. can start to, at that point, do carpet bombing. I mean, just look at what war power is there now, and what they could possibly act up and do. And your military, you probably understand that better. I'm just reading some of the stats on it. And with respect, Velvet, I put in a bipartisan bill by Rosen and McCormick from Pennsylvania, Rosen from Nevada. So just to give you an example, but I'd look at John Fetterman's statements also.
I think John Fetterman recently just cast a vote, which turned the tide, right? He seems to always be like a linchpin.
He is a linchpin. He's kind of the new Manchin. But I'll call out the Democrats when they should be called out. But on this one, the majority are not crazy Ilhan Omars. There's some very normal ones.
You think there's a 50-50 chance that there's going to be a regime change, or do you think it's 2080?
I think he dies. He's old. But not all of the Gulf, like they've come out with statements that they're fearful of regime change because of what will take its place. I mean, that's a really important consideration. Have you talked about that? What if it does change? Who comes into power?
I mean, doesn't he have heir apparent, like his sons or something?
And then, I might have a better perspective on this. That's what will happen if the United States attacks the regime. So one little thing I would urge everyone: when you say Gulf, the Gulf is a term that Arab countries used to refer to that sort of ocean. We call it Persian Gulf. It is its historical name. So please refer to that as it's the real name, Persian Gulf. But anyway, the point is, if the regime changes, so the majority or a significant part of the opposition support the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi to be their king. But even myself, I, as a person who opposed the Islamic regime, I'm not necessarily a monarchist, but I am united behind Reza Pahlavi for now. But in a voting, in a ballot box that will happen after the revolution, after the regime change, I probably vote for a republic. And my leader is Masih Halinejad. She's one of the opposition figures. But for now, the majority of the opposition are behind Reza Pahlavi. So Reza Pahlavi will emerge after the regime change. But I would urge you to know that it's also
what Reza Pahlavi's path is. He's not saying keep me in and pick a monarch. He's saying let's do a just election, and then you can pick if you want to have a monarchy or you want to have the not monarchy. So I think that's why people want Reza Pahlavi in place, so he can create a clear path to a better future for the Iranian people, right? He's not necessarily saying, I want to be in power and it's only me. He's saying, listen, I want to be able to help, and I have a portfolio put together on how I can help with the conversion to make it an easy transition to make it better for the Iranian people. So it's not like what happened in Iraq.
And even if it is a monarchy, the result of the ballot box, it will be a democratic monarchy, just as most European countries, just as United Kingdom, that the king has just a constitutional stance, but the real power is in prime minister's hand. So in any way, Iranian people are fighting for democracy. They want democracy, but it could happen in a republic form, or just as the United States, or in a monarchy form like United Kingdom.
What's the bigger rivalry, Saudi Arabia and Iran, or Israel and Iran? I mean, do these Sunnis and Shias, the princes and the potentates of Saudi Arabia and that kingdom, they must have extensive diplomatic, regional ties, trades, etc. Somewhat of a shared culture between Persians and Arabs because of Islam, even though they've got this separation. What role is Saudi Arabia either going to play, in diplomacy or creating stability and peace as opposed to war?
I mean, I just got back from there. I listened to them talk about it in a diplomatic way. And they made it, this is the foreign minister there, made it very clear they're not pushing for regime change. They have a fear of what will come after. But they're also extremely clear, and they don't hold back on this, that the Muslim Brotherhood is their enemy. And that the enemy has attacked their their soil has via their proxies. They've taken fire from the Muslim Brotherhood, and they're not supporters of it. They'd like to see the Brotherhood gone. So they take a pretty strong position about that. But they were very clear to say that they're not advocating regime change. So it's interesting how they position themselves on that. I think they see themselves as a economic force in the Gulf region, as they have been. And I'd also look at some of the squabbles they have with the UAE right now and how that's playing into it. But they're hell bent on developing the train lines and the fiber optic lines, and getting out of the petrol business. So there's lots of positions with respect to their Vision 2030 and where that's taking their nation, and where they see themselves as a regional player as well as a world player. But with respect to Iran, that's definitely their position. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what the guy said, and that's.
When you say they want to get out of the oil business, do you know what the market cap of Aramco is? I looked it up the other day.
Yeah, but Aramco, but they were very clear in their Vision 2030 to diversify and get into tech and get into these other industries. And, they're handing out money to companies coming in that want to build infrastructure in their nation, doing that. Hospitality being one for sure, something they've also pursued. But I would just take a look at it's easy. You can just Google their Vision 2030.
I know, I've heard of it. This is the Saudi Arabian oil company. This is known as Aramco. This is their vital stats on the stock. Their market cap is 6.22 trillion. PE of 17. Dividend is 5.2%.
John, are they under Apple? They were the biggest.
They're the biggest.
In the world, and then Apple overtook them. So
No.
I didn't know.
No.
They are.
No, Apple's not as big as Aramco.
Yeah, but again.
Apple's 3.9 trillion. Aramco is 6.2 trillion. That's incredible.
Just look at the Sovereign Wealth Fund. Look at that Vision 2030, and it'll tell you how they see themselves as a player. They're also all about their DEI there is about women and trying to they say that it's all about inclusion now for women. But it's just very interesting.
They just invested in Elon Musk's XAI in a private equity deal. I think it was like a $2 to $4 billion deal with Elon Musk, because XAI merged with SpaceX. And, it does put Elon Musk at like almost the trillionaire level. It's unbelievable. But, I think historically, wars and debts and all this chaos is really, I'm more worried that there's going to be a war because it's going to shift the attention. But, it just seems to be convenient when a war happens to break out. And, I've heard so much chatter that, I'm pretty concerned. And the buildup, is basically potential energy. And so what's the flow going to be?
Lord, we're sitting in the hub of AI, right? Chicago, Great Lakes area. You know that.
Yep. AI's everywhere, though. They're estimated to build, I think it was I read 3,000 or 5,000 more AI data centers in the United States. I'm like, what? How can we already, we're already doing it. Everybody's already online. How many more data centers do we need?
They're being built to crash and burn what's out there, what's threatening us.
So you think the buildup of data centers in the United States is a geostrategic move?
I think it's what's going to make us dominant.
Yeah, but how so? In what ways?
Well, we're going to be well over-equipped in comparison. I mean, they can talk a bunch of crap, excuse my French, but delivery is going to be out.
You don't think the AI is making people lazy and stupid?
No, that's a different kind of AI that I'm focusing on. It's really more about weaponry.
Well, if you're a Star Trek,
You're talking in weaponry, the use of drones. But all of it, talking about all of it, Abby. I mean, drones.
She's talking about warfare, basically.
I mean, yeah, thank you. I was looking for the word. Thank you. It is warfare. But so much has changed with drones coming into warfare.
No, but it's everything. I know what she's talking about. It's talking about hacking, shutting a country down, turning off the lights, drones, missiles, defense systems, how AI could be utilized in all of that.
Electricity. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know, we just had a hack this a few days ago. One of our casinos just had forget the name of the company that came in and held them ransom. They paid it. They paid the ransom. It's pretty crazy.
what systems did they hack?
They paid $1.5 million.
What did they hack though?
Into the whole system of the casino and all the data. Like
They did ransomware?
Yeah. Let me tell you the name of the company. Hold on.
Did the hack shut down?
One sec.
We already know the name, Abby. It's El Normo Green.
No, wait, one sec. Let me pull it up.
There's not a statue of El Normo in Vegas.
Yeah, right on the strip. That's saying I got you.
Yeah, if I can say something, getting back to the question that Lord was asking about, what role Saudi Arabia was playing in Iran.
Before you jump into it, because you have so much beautiful energy, I just don't want Abby to be like, I want to hear what you have to say about the hack. But don't forget what you're going to say, just because then we'll forget it. Abby was looking up something.
Hold on. The name of the hacker is it's Shiny Hunters. Shiny Hunters. It pulled off a massive data heist against this particular property. It holds more than 800,000 records containing personal employee information. It issued a final warning on the dark web. It gave the particular luxury resort until February 23rd before releasing the data to the public. The pressure on the company and the threats to release the data was likely when the company had broken off negotiations. So now the gang is desperate, and that's not uncommon with the extortion attacks. This particular property is extremely high-end. I'm just reading the article about it, and then I got a note that the estimate was 1.5 that they paid. That's the name of the hacker. Oh, and the same hacker had hacked, the same gang had hacked Canada Goose, that company. They had hacked Mercer Advisors and Beacon Point Advisors, and a few other companies in the past. The Bumble Match, the internet match company, Bumble, that has Hinge and Match and OkCupid, they had hacked them, Panera Bread, and a couple others. So that's what I mean. Yeah. But, the player information, that stuff, that's the lifeblood of the properties. So it's just like getting a pretty bad take at a table to get this $1.5 million.
Do not know it.
Do you pretend to be in? Is that really a big loss to them? You don't stop to do that.
If they have to pay out $1.5 million for the table, yeah, it's a big number.
No, I mean so that's how much do you think they profit a week, like a casino?
Well, it matters what property. That happens to be an incredibly successful one. It has more of the high limit take than the others. But that hack that I just read.
No, I never heard of him.
Shiny, no. Me personally, no. What's his name, Robbie? Probably knows them.
I mean, it's what did I say the name was? Shiny Hunter.
The Shiny Hunter.
Sorry, you can go back to where I ran.
Yeah, sorry, Melvin. Go ahead, buddy.
Well, I think the good. Can I just say that the good news about Clubhouse and the Iranian agents here, like Soren, etc., is if that's the best they got, I don't think there's that much to maybe worry about.
Do you think he was in a re-education camp for a while?
Soren?
Yeah.
I saw him back on the app the other day.
Yeah, he's back in strength.
What do you mean by a re-education?
Yeah. It was a joke, because in the Chinese re-education camps,
Iranian food is like some of the best in the world. The music is great. The women are beautiful. I mean, can't we just live in peace? Can't these people just say, you know what? Era of the Shah. I mean, not the Shah. the Khomeinis, or this Muslim radical group that took over this embassy and is extended to 2020. Can't they just put it all behind him and say, guess what, everybody? We're gonna have the biggest dinner you've ever had. It's gonna be the best, shawarma you've ever eaten. And just enjoy life and have joy, actual joy, true joy in life, great joy.
Here's my prediction, Abby. If it turns Western and they open a casino, it'll be in this wonderful island in the Straits of Hormuz called Keshem. It has everything. It is it's where the decadent people go. I mean that in a good way. In Iran, it's got water parks. It's got
the island of
Keshem. QESHM. Just look at all the different attractions it has on it. It's in crystal blue waters. It's got caves. I don't know if it has red sand. I'll be honest with you. I just know it has just so many wonderful attractions, and it's right across from Abu Dhabi. So it'd be like a little puddle jumper away. Literally. All the Emiratis could go there.
The Emiratis are getting a casino in the Betty.
I know, but for whatever, if they want to.
There was one, Jeff. There was the Shah during the time of the Shah. It was a very successful one in Tehran. Isn't there? It's kind of like what happened to the Cuban ones. Zelensky lost them in Cuba.
So we could you could go to Keshem, and then you could fly to Tehran and have dinner, and then go skiing, because Tehran's right around there's a mountain range right around Tehran that's just wonderful skiing.
Say it,
Q. It's in Q. It's near Bandar Abbas. QESHM.
It was sort of considered like a free zone. The way there are Hong Kong was a little bit different than China, but they kidnapped the guy there, and they kept his remains for years. He was out of Queens. I think his name was Levine or something. I have to go look it up. But the FBI has often wanted to at least get his remains back.
If you type Bandar Abbas, BANDAR space ABBAS, it's right next door. It's an island.
I'm looking at the pictures now. Wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So, regarding the question that Lord earlier asked about the role that Saudi Arabia might play in Iran, I would say there is almost not common between Persian culture and Iran and any other Arab country, including Saudi Arabia, because they're inherently Muslim, but Islam took over Iran. We were originally not Muslims. We were Zoroastrians and different. And they have nothing. I would just ask everyone, when you refer to the entire body of water is Persian Gulf. So yeah, please name it as such. But
Velvet, you speak eloquently. You're willing to fight a war. Please let me finish. Don't interrupt. Americans are willing to fight a war to destroy nuclear capability, but no Americans are willing to die to free you from your oppressors because, and I'll land my plane here, a shitload of Americans died in Afghanistan and in Iraq, and we got no fucking gratitude from anyone. So Americans are not dying to rescue you. If you want us to die to rescue you, please fuck off, respectfully.
First of all, you are a very rude person because there's no need for you to language. We can speak respectfully to each other. So what we demand from not just the United States but the whole international community is not boots on the ground. People will overthrow the regime if there is an equalizing factor in place. So all you need to do, not just for the benefit of Iranians, but for your own benefit. Because the regime wants to destroy your country, whether you like it or not, whether you accept it or not. If you don't act now, in sometime in the future, in a few years, they will talk in either nuclear language or ballistic language. You cannot just ignore that fact. From age of 7, they teach us every single day to school, in new schools, to chant death to England, death to America, and death to Israel. It's part of their ideology to destroy your country. And about the comparison that you are making, and I'm actually sick of hearing this in the propaganda and mainstream media, that people are making false comparisons between Afghanistan and Iraq and Iran. There is a contextual difference. In Afghanistan, people were not against Taliban. The United States attacked Afghanistan. In Iraq, people were not against Saddam Hussein when the United States attacked Iraq. Even now, Iraqi people are speaking highly about Saddam Hussein. But Iran's society, as I keep repeating it, Iran's society is a progressive, freedom-loving people. We want democracy, women's rights, LGBTQ rights, separation of religion from power, all those progressive values. So you cannot make that comparison. And for 26 years, you have been fighting with this regime. But all we do not beg your support in any way, demand, and not just yours, the whole international community, because first of all, it is a humanitarian issue, and second, it is for the benefit of the global safety and security, because this regime is an extreme terrorist funding regime which are using our wealth, our oil, to fund terrorist organizations such as Hezbollah, Hamas, Hashd al-Sha'bi, Fatemiyun, Zainabiyun, Houthis in the Yemen. All those terrorist organizations are not only being funded by this regime, but also are being weaponized regime, and you cannot ignore that. And please, again, don't use that language to me, because if you repeat it, I will use the same language as you. It is in your own benefit to fight this regime and take the Iranian people's side, because Iranian people are the true friends of America. We don't hate America.
Free the Iranian people, where masses of Iranis don't want to be bombed or have regime change. This is the same Darwist and Israeli rhetoric you hear on Clubhouse for the last when Masa Amini happened.